So when I was starting to work on this project, I've been working with Curtis on it, and he mentioned how much he really likes Adagia's kind of format of it being kind of all like storytelling slideshow shenanigans. And so here we are. This one's for Curtis. And a shout out to Adagia. Maybe she will be able to post her video without having to do 6 revisions. This is a pretty big and important project for me. This is an open letter to Digital Banditos, those working on Town of Salem 2, and Sydney, the community manager. This is a script that is over 10 pages long. I would bet, and look here, is over 3,000 words, over 18,000 characters. This one's big. So let's get into it because it's going to take some time. To Sydney, Digital Banditos, and those working on Town of Salem 2. My name's London. I've never like, hey, my name is such and such. I'm the official Town of Salem 2 content. I am an official Town of Salem 2 content creator since June of 2023. I've posted thousands. I mean thousands. I mean thousands of videos of Town of Salem 1 and 2, and currently have the longest collection of update videos and tier list videos for Town of Salem 2. At the time of writing, I've put in a nice, happy, about 3,300 hours into both games, and I wanted to give my thoughts and solutions and concerns to Town of Salem 2 moving forward. With Digital Banditos kind of taking over, being publisher, and helping kind of lead in a direction. I will stay before I continue. Sydney has had this longer than you all have. Sydney and Lance and Curtis and Wild and DGF have all seen this before. And we'll get to some of the thank yous. So, I have 4 key points I want to discuss. One is being more beginner friendly. Second is working to making the monetization portion of Town of Salem 2 more efficient. Number 3 is fixing the current problems we have, and number 4 is some new content ideas. For Sydney, I have a roadmap of how I would lay that out. I'm not going to share that here because that just states it at this point. That's more for them to look through of ideas rather than you all. All of this will be on the Discord. We'll get to that later on. So, let's start. So, the game needs to be more beginner friendly. Town of Salem 2 is a social deduction game, which is very hard to get into because social interactions are hard. As a teacher, I can understand that because I watch students not be very good at social interaction. Furthermore, Town of Salem 2 is a very complicated social deduction game where some social deduction games maybe have 10 or 12 rolls or 0 or 1. Town of Salem 2 has like 52 of wildling abilities, including wildling. So this leads to the biggest thing I'm wanting to look into, which is a formation of easy to view rules or a code of conduct. I find one of the biggest problems with Town of Salem 2 is the toxicity of the community. And so this section handles that. Outlying rules that are reportable, and then you'll see some more things that get along with it. At the very beginning, when you first log into Town of Salem 2 for the first time, there needs to be a pop-up that says, hey, welcome to Town of Salem 2. We welcome you to town. Here are the rules that you need to know. You have like a little box that clicks the rules. Here are the rules that you need to know to make your time in town enjoyable for yourself and the rest of the townies. You can reference these in the settings. So put it in the settings. You don't need Common Courtesy L, but I just wanted to put in Common Courtesy L for tuba. Here are the rules. I am not going to read every single rule to you, because in order to play a text-based game, you should be able to read. But I will go over some of the ones. I want to make a huge shout out to DJF. We kind of worked on this together. I kind of like, here, give me your thoughts. And he gave a whole bunch, and he helped with kind of as the moderation side of how the rules went. The legal rules make absolute sense. Nothing too crazy. Everything that the three is: don't alter or exploit anything, don't impersonate a member, don't use multiple accounts to evade ban. That makes sense, right? And don't bully staff. Reportable actions. No verbal abuse, harassment, or hate speech. All that that makes sense. Trying to lower the toxicity, which is going to, I believe, I would bet that is a goal moving. The moderators I know really see that as we need to fix this. No game throwing. It gives the definition of game throwing and many examples of game throwing. Let's continue. Some more kind of game throwing actions. This legalizes the idea that in the late game, you can, if I'm covered, I can claim arsonist to get someone else voted up. Or in the case that we see in Town of Salem 2 all the time, is death appears and the coven's like, I'm Banshee, or that would be better too as 2. I'm Ritualist. I think it's such and such, to try and take, push a role that is more important. There's other stuff that makes absolute sense. We handled a little situation we had, back a couple months ago, where there was a person who was streaming the game to allow everyone to game throw. Not a great thing to have. It talks about reg hunting and being reg hunting being reportable, which I think is a huge deal for the game. And then, of course, false reports, multi-account, and such. All the rules and whatnot will be in a Discord post, and there'll be several that I formulate before I leave for work today. Probably after I leave for work today. Second thing is tutorials. It is no surprise that Town of Salem 2 is a difficult game to learn unless you're watching many, many videos over it. That's how I learned Town of Salem 1, is I watched Skim and I watched Shadow for hundreds of videos to get a lot better at the game. I think as the game, they should be able to handle it. My first option is to have a proper tutorial in the first game. Your first game pops up, everything else turns black besides what is pointing out. Hey, this is where the chat is. You use hashtag for roles and alignments, you use colon for keywords. Here's where your role card is. This is where your will is. This is what your abilities are. This is how you use your special ability. This is where the graveyard is when someone dies. This is the role list. This is how you report. The rules are here, and I would make maybe a rules button by the report stuff. In the guide section for the game, I would have a video tutorial like what I've been working on, or someone who's a lot more smarter than me, and a text tutorial of every role. Not a wiki. You should not have to put your nose in the wiki to figure out how to play a role. Maybe how to play it better, but not how to play the basis of the role. So these work out well. And then I think there should be some more general tips, like when you talk about vote for alignment. When you're talking about TIs really needing to post, when you're talking about fake claiming, things like that. Next, this one I got from watching a streamer, Pirate Software. He was talking about a game that had a positive reputation system. You know, if you're positive, other people that aren't your friends can give you a thumbs up, and you get, for that, you get more experience. I think you can put this into Town of Salem 2. You can do this for more TP, more Battle Pass experience, and Tome experience. And it would only work if you're not partied up with those people, if they aren't your friends, and you still need to be connected to that lobby. So if you want that positive rep, you need to stay till the end. I think this is an easy system to add that would benefit greatly because, again, toxicity is what we're trying to counter. Next is a blocking system and kick options. DJF did a whole lot of this. I kind of like, you know, this would be cool to add. And he's like, no, here you go. Here's how we should do it. So a blocking system, obviously something more than the list, something where you could actually block and you just don't get it in those games. And in a world where there's more people, that makes sense. More people playing. And then kick and self-moderation options, you know, the ability that if someone is spamming the N-word, you should be able to kick. Everyone can come together and no get out. Obviously that can be abused, but if you have people who are who have a lot of hours in the community that are in charge of handling that, yeah, that makes sense. And that can be taken away and, you know, reported just as such as well. And then you have that kind of core group of people that can check out the reports and how things are being handled. And, you know, that way it's not just on whoever's handling the report's shoulders. And then the last one is the free-to-play side. So there was a big, large complaint in the reviews for the free-to-play system. Either they hated it, or they hated it because it existed, or they hated it because it limited them. So, or how it limited them. So there's two sides. Both DJF made the comment of, you know, if it's a free-to-play player and they get banned or suspended within the first month, they need to purchase the game in order to be able to play again, even after waiting their suspension's done. I agree with that. I think that will help a lot of kind of alt accounts, fake accounts, which are supposed to be bannable, by the way, to stop, and it stops those like toxic people trying to come in and make things worse. DJF's suggestion was just make it free to play, which that is kind of like you think that's the end goal, right? With the systems that it has set up and with the monetization that Town of Salem 2 has set up, you think that that would be a straightforward way. If you still wanted to limit people with the key system, my suggestion is rather than the key gets used once the game begins, because, you know, you, in the worst case scenario, which I'm sure has happened to someone and they've quit the game because of this. They've played 5 games in a row, they've died night 1 5 times, and now they have to wait 3 more hours to play the next game. So here is my suggestion, is the key is used once that game ends. So you might be able to start 8 or 10 games before that 5th game ends. And so you can fill it out all the way. And with the ability to, you know, have a positive rep system. Something that neither of us discussed, and it's something that I saw get brought up a lot as well, is free-to-play players cannot use points. And so that's something to look into, but that is a much broader monetization practice that we'll get into here really quickly. But that is kind of the beginner side of this letter. Now, let's talk about the monetization, which is, in my opinion, the second biggest thing to hit. It personally does not affect me as much. I don't mind spending that money because I want to support the game. I don't mind the obnoxious monetization. I dealt with that in Town of Salem 1. I didn't spend, the only thing I spent in Town of Salem 1 was name change. Um, but there's a lot here, and we're in an age where it is getting more distasteful. And that was by far the biggest complaint in all the negative Steam reviews. I think it's like, I went through 2.5 months of reviews, and it doubled any other complaint. So, Adagia has a really good video talking about all the monetization that is currently in the game. We're going to try and slim that down because it's not that microtransaction monetization bad. There has to be a way to support the game. Personally, would I be fine with, you have to spend $9.99 on the game? Yeah, I think we're past that. To have it not be some sort of free-to-play system. And so there has to be ways to support. And so let's find ways to make it more efficient. And I think that is the key word, is the monetization currently feels really bloated and not really focused. So let's focus it down a little. First up is the Battle Pass stuff. Personally, I think the Season Battle Pass is a cool idea. It is something that I didn't say, straight up Battle Pass, but there needed to be some sort of progression. Some sort of way to work through the season or a time period that could focus on allowing people to play the game and getting something out. And and we've talked about this in the Discord quite a bit, the season battle pass is not obtrusive at all. I mean, neither are. But the season one is not obtrusive at all. It's not giving anyone advantage. It's pretty much purely cosmetic based. And that's what a battle pass should be, right? I am going to suggest it not cost $25. That is a lot. Especially for cosmetics. Right? And in my understanding, that was a last-ditch effort to try and salvage stuff. We're not in that anymore. Digital Banditos is here. Let's make it $9.99. Yes, that's the price of the game. But, $9.99, Runaway Fly, for a 3-month battle pass. For a premium 3-month battle pass, let's specify that. There's the free side. I would still keep that. I think that's fair. And that is a good middle ground, because I know a lot of people will just get rid of it all. You can't do that right. It needs to be sustainable. We need to find some sustainability. I would raise the number of games required to finish the battle pass from 100, which is what it was this year, which some people finished within 24 hours. I think I finished in 3 weeks. 2 weeks, I think. 2 or 3 weeks. So rather than 100 games, I want 250 games, which sounds like a lot. But that is less than 3 games a day. It's out for about 90 days. It is less than 3 games a day. I would separate it out, and this is something that people have brought up too. Rather than, 3, you get 1 free and 2 premium, or 1 premium tier. I would do each game 100 points or 100 experience. I would do 100 experience is 50 experience is a free, the next one is premium, the next one's premium, and then free, and you can alternate, and there can be some doubling up to meet 250. This is a big one. Cosmetics that are not claimed once the battle pass ends are put in the shop for town points. I think cosmetics that are not cosmetics after the battle pass is done, all of them should be in the town shop once the battle pass finishes. That way there's no FOMO, there's no, oh my gosh, I'll never get this again. But for those that did spend money on the Battle Pass and did not end up getting all the cosmetics, you can buy it at a discount. I put it at 50%. I would put the price for the Battle Pass cosmetics to be more than regular stuff that's in the shop. You can lower that once you get, further along in seasons. But, make it, and that's kind of, I think, what everyone really like, especially with the Cauldron, which we get to, is they want the ability to purchase it with town points. I have 12,000 some odd town points right now. I've not spent on it. So give us something to spend. And then last but not least, let the season battle passes be themed. This one was during the summer. This should have been a summer theme. Summer skins and summer related stuff. We're going into October, November, December. So make it Thanksgiving theme or fall theme or Christmas theme. Something. Make it some sort of theme. That allows direction with the battle pass, which is something. All right, we talked about the battle pass. Let's talk about the weekly board. Yeah, we're getting rid of this. This ain't going to be a battle pass anymore. It's not going to cost any money. It is still going to exist, however. Call it like the weekly board, like, weekly job board that you need to get through. I would set it for 25 games. That is plenty of games for a week. That is a little more than 3 games a week. And not everyone will want to go for every week. It's okay. Each 5 games is 25 town points. Then scrolls, either blessed or cursed, is in between. For completing all 25 games, you get to spin the Cauldron. There you go. That is a system that you can continue forever. Work. Speaking of the Cauldron, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this Cauldron. That's a lot for going over and clicking a small button on the right side. There's my 12. So, a DJF helmet, which way smarter. I was just wanting it to be on the starting screen. Why not when you start the game? Log in, it loads in to the Cauldron so that you can grab it. There, fixed. Daily reward. Here's some other things. See in the top left, Enchanted Cauldron. There should be a free way to get the Enchanted Cauldron. I'm not saying it's easy, and this is not a easy way to get it. It's about logging in daily. After 7 days, your Cauldron levels up to, you need 6 days, and 5 days, and then 4 days. I would cap it at 4 days. I learned after writing the script for this portion that after you spend that $4.99, you can spend, I think, like another $14.99 or something to get it down to 2 days, and then like another $34.99 to get it to 1 day or something like that. How did I describe it? Chain purchasing? Get rid of the chain purchasing. That is a stupid marketing. And it is nasty. Get rid of that. Bye-bye. We are not Star Citizen here. But I would cap it at 4, and I think 4 is okay. If you miss a day, it goes back to 7. Welcome to Ingress. I play Ingress. You lose your streak. This is what it is. You can still spend the $4.99 to purchase these, and you will not lose it if you miss a day. I think that's fair, and that allows for people that have kept the Enchanted Cauldron to as is. Legendary cosmetics are now back in the shop. They're twice as expensive as regulars. Jekyll and Hyde would be 2,040 TB. If you get a cosmetic you already own, you have 3 options. 2 that I'll discuss now, and 1 I'll discuss later. Option number 1, to re-roll your pull. Say summer comes up, you already have summer. You can either take half of the value or take a quarter of the cosmetic's value in TP. So that would be what? 520 TP for summer. Or you can re-roll it again. If it's a repeat on the second time, it just automatically gives you the TP. The potions that you see on the right will be rewards of the season battle pass. Brews of various numbers are rewards in the season battle pass, rather than, attendance. And yeah, there's no chain purchase. That is my ideas for Cauldron. Next, Tome of Fate. When the Tome of Fate came out, I really, really liked it. There's a lot of people that really hate it, and as someone who almost, as you can see, I almost have my tome maxed out. I'm close. I've been working on it. I still end up with Dreamweaver. I still end up with Apocalypse, even though I curse scroll them all, and I scroll all town. I still end up with them. Now, obviously, I can probably... It's very clear that the Tome of Fate works. I guess it works. Sometimes it takes 5 hours to get Seer, but it still works. And so I want to try and make it more viable for everyone. So, for the experience boosts for the Tome, you can find those in 2 places now. No longer purchase. Buy purchase of it. Number 1, it's in the Season Battle Pass. Number 2, and this is something that I want to try and include, and I think should be included, more rewards for higher ranks. So, experience boost would be getting platinum or higher in the previous rank season. I got platinum in season 4 of Town of Salem 1. It's doable when ranked is good, and we'll talk. The tier evolution skip, which is normally below the graphic I have, it's gone. It's completely gone. There's no reason to pay. It's pay to play less. And that is not a good format for anything, in my opinion. So we're getting rid of it. Why allow someone to pay, generally, especially at the level I'm at, an exorbitant amount of money, play your game less when you want them to play more? Because you're wanting players. It'd be different if there was 100,000 players. There's about 600 average. The Tome of Fate itself can now be purchased with town points, but it's ungodly expensive at the start. Like, I'm talking 25,000 town points, which is like, which is more than the regular Tome of Fate is right now. So you could just spend the money, or you could grind up the town points. The more you play Town of Salem 2, the less expensive the Tome of Fate gets. It rewards people put in time. It caps. Once you play 500 hours, which is like, oh my gosh, that's so much time. It's been about 13 months, 14 months now. I am almost to 1,700 hours. Now, is this like almost a second job to me? Yes. You can get 500 in a year pretty. And then that drops it down to where you could purchase them for 5,000. Yeah, right. A way, and I didn't say an easy way, but I say a way purchase with, and there's people that have thousands of town points to spend. And then something that I brought up in a previous video back earlier in the year, I think you need to be able to prestige the Tome of Fate. Different color books for different prestiges. Have it where you show off your different tomes in the house. That allows people, once they fill up their first tome, they can start another one for kicks and giggles. And then I think, in terms of what that would allow, each tome is a different scroll layout. So, maybe I'm streaming and I want deputy and prosecutor and conjurer and all the cool. Maybe I'm grinding the tome, so I want my town powers or town protectives in. Maybe I want one for coven, but I want my coven stuff. Things like that. I think that's very fair and pretty doable. There's some miscellaneous stuffs as well. I have Steam here, and we'll get to Steam in a little bit. For the 30-day town multiplier, rewards in 2 places. You can get it once you finish up the season battle pass, just like it was this past time. And then if you get masters or higher in the pre-ranked season, and, a 30-day. The sale of the day that pops up once as that big text box, and then goes away to a small icon up by your name. Very unobtrusive at that point. Steam sales should affect deeds to the town, and this is something that I brought up earlier. You should be able to buy the game from Steam. I should be able to spend the $9.99, whatever it is now, purchase the deed to the town, and purchase the game from Steam. I think it hurts the game financially that you have to download the free game and then go buy it, and it's never on sale. Steam. And if you have people that wish list Town of Salem 2, that might have it wish list, like, oh, I'm gonna look into this later, never know that the game is purchasable. I think you need to have it on Steam. Big DLC. You should be able to sell your scrolls for Tome of Fate experience. 5-10 experience per scroll sold, maybe, whatnot. That allows those of us that get a whole bunch of don't want, you can put it in the Tome experience. And it's not like it's going to cap at that, because you get to prestige your Tome and make it, cooler. I don't know. I think the prestige mechanic of the Tome can be explored more by some people that like it. That was my first option, and that is something that I'm going to want for a long time. Add the platform to add the game to more platforms. Game Jolt, Humble Bundle, itch.io, Game Pass for PC. Add it to more PC platforms. Mac, which is Linux. I don't see a way where it's on Switch or Xbox One or Xbox X. You can tell I have not purchased my last console's Switch. I don't see it on any consoles. We'll talk about mobile later. But I do see it on other PC platforms. I think that would be a good way to get others to play it. Steam makes it easy. It's already on Epic. And then something that I think Digital Banditos will do a good job on is actually marketing the game. I don't think that Town of Salem 2 was marketed very well. There should have been YouTube ads. There should have been get bigger streamers to stream it. Get hold events, which we'll get to later. I think Digital Banditos will do a better job. And then last, and this is something that I was going to bring up for like a third option for like the Cauldron and whatnot, add gifting option. I should be able to gift someone the deed to the town if I want. I should be able, if I pull Summer a second time, to gift that to a friend. I think that's fair. All right. That's monetization. That's a lot, isn't it? We're coming up on quite a bit. This might be one of the longer discussion videos. All right. Number 3, fixing what is already in the game. There's already a lot that needs fixed, so let's worry about that. Number 1, bug fixes. Here's a list of the bug fixes that I looked up and looked and researched when making this letter. Some big ones that I think immediately need to be fixed is Coven Leader always showing innocent, Trickster not being able to use magic mirrors on Coven members, Amnesiacs removing silenced, Corners not being able to get a Coven target if no one gets killed but a meteor happens. There's some party stuff that is a little difficult, and there's some achievement stuff that should be easy. Bug fixes are easy small wins. So do them. That should would have happened all through Season 3. And we just finally got the rich text exploit fixed. Do the little wins. Little wins are easy to work with. Don't massively put a patch out that fixes everything. Do little wins. Patches every 3 or 4 days. They're actually doing stuff and they're announcing things. Little wins is what we need right now. City Skylines 2 is bringing things back and making things better. Is little wins. Next, let's talk about balance. There are 3 general balance things that I would propose. 2 of the 3 are in Town of Salem, or Better Town of Salem 2. Number 1, generalizing the attack information. I should not know that a serial killer attacked me, or that I was saved by a barrier. I should know that I was attacked but saved, but protected. There you go. Number 2, a dynamic timer. So one of my least favorite things in Town of Salem 2 is vote for time. I'm not a huge fan of vote for alignment either, but I hate vote for time because it hurts, like the idea of it hurts evils, makes the game last longer for no reason other than trying to get more information, which the town should be able to do. I've already talked before that I would like another coven role that deals with votes, manipulates voting, to counter that sort of. But a dynamic timer would work as a more subtle solution. The more people that are alive, the longer that discussion phase is. The less people alive, the less the discussion. And then last, and kind of the general, is a change to death notes to where it's a modifier, and no one has death notes unless you want it custom. Now, there's people that love death notes. I enjoyed death notes when, I was memeing in Town of Salem. What death notes are is if you're Coven, you point out that 12 has defense, or if you're Shroud, you point out that, oh, this is Coven. That's not really good for the game. Now let's talk about some role changes. There are a lot here. And again, I will separate a lot of this out in the Discord so that it's in separate locations. So let's talk about some balance changes. Ready? There's a lot. I'm going to try and go fast because we're already almost 4 minutes into this. The sun has arisen since I started recording this. Number 1, Deputy is now Better Town of Salem 2 version. I first was very hesitant on that Deputy rework, but it has grown on me, and I think it might be even better than the current Deputy. It allows Deputy not to shoot town, which is its biggest problem. Number 2, Seer. It takes a night to be able to use your ability. I think you could format that in a way to make more sense, but right now we just need to fix Seer because it immediately gives town traction, and town needs to be able to talk. So, giving Seer a day to contemplate, or how I phrased it in the letter. Seer takes a night 1 to wipe its option. Great pun. Next, Lookout is no longer astral. I love Lookout being astral as a getting to play it option. I do not Lookout being astral as a being on the other side of it. Next, Marshal. Marshal dies. The Tribune ends. There. Nice and easy. Next, Spy. The bug stays until forever. Or until they die. Not until forever. That'd be kind of fun. I can see this being a problem with Plague because you're going to get Plague up every time. Spy is supposed to have a lot of information. Next, Socialite. Targets are told they are role blocked, not invited to the party. Socialite is very loud, and when someone's like, oh, I wasn't invited to the party, Socialite is immediately known to be in the game. It's easily confirmable. Just say that they're role blocked. That means it could be Tavern Keeper. That means it could be Poisoner. There. Fixes Socialite being loud and being more confirmed. Next, Vigilante. Takes a day to reload after you shoot. Vigilante could cook. Vigilante also could immediately kill the mayor. Taking a day to reload after firing slows it down. Makes it a little weak. I'd put it in D tier, but fixes vigilante. Also makes it easier to claim, or safer to claim in witch games. Trickster is now town protective. This is one I added after DJF, so he didn't see this. Trickster plays as a town protective. Don't screw over town with your town killing claim not being able to kill quickly. Next, Admirer can avenge a dead lover by lynching the killer. They live if they successfully do so. That sounds really chaotic, doesn't it? That's because we're taking it out of ranked. It is banned from ranked now. And then you know what else is banned from ranked? Amnesiac. You can add a custom modifier to your custom game where Amnesiac spawns as a new. Everyone's gonna. But it's in custom games, it's not going to affect the regular games. Go play custom game. Potion Master. Once you use a potion, you cannot use it again until you take a day to rest to resupply. This does not apply when you have the book. So, when you use your reveal potion, you need to wait a day. Another reveal potion. It will allow more meta-defining stuff. Next, Necromancer. Attacks directly rather than using. This fixes why Necromancer is so broken right now. It's an easy solution. Next, Coven Leader. Coven killing members cannot be retrained into Coven Fire. This allows you not to change a Jinx into Witch. Pretty easy. Ritualist changes to a powerful attack. Unless the target is revealed, then it is unstoppable. That allows for, Cleric to heal Ritualist, or better TOS2, Oracle. It allows Ritualist. Notice, Ritualist is still astral. It just is not unstoppable attack. And then this one. So I don't get this, and I wish I could ask Curtis why Illusionist has mass hysteria and not Dreamweaver. I think this fixes Dreamweaver being so garbage. I would put Dreamweaver in C tier, honestly, if it got mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is a very good ability that allows for a lot more social deduction in the game. So give it to Dreamweaver. Curtis, give it to Dreamweaver. Next, Pirate. Pirate can talk with the person they're pirating. Just comes up to you as Pirate, just like Jailer. Just like better TOS2. I think that's fun, and it's funny, and Pirate is supposed to be a funny role. However, after 3 failures, you can, in the middle of the conversation, halfway through the night, oh, I'm taking away one of your options. I think that also is funny and allow Pirate to win. However, I would take Pirate out of all any. We'll talk about an April mode called Anything Goes later on. I like it. But I think an option to take some of those more chaotic roles out of all any is reasonable and put it into his own chaotic mode. Next, speaking of other chaotic stuff, add Vampire to that mode and custom classes. Pure Souls, the better 2S2 version, to Anything Goes /April and custom. We'll get back to Anything Goes later. That is all the roles. There's only one more thing to fix, and it's mobile. Mobile is in a very bad state. I cannot tell you what's all wrong with it because I don't play on mobile. But mobile needs fixed, and that's going to take some time. Alright. That is all of the fixes. Now let's talk about some new things. I'm just going to put a list and we'll talk about them. So, a streamer mode, where it can be turned on. You can choose as a streamer, does it obscure your chat? Does it obscure your role? Does it obscure, what does it show? Make it custom. Make it more streamable. Spectator modifier in custom games, where you can watch, other people can watch the game. I think this will allow for more events, which we'll get to in a second. And have a chat for spectators too. Leaderboards. Game needs leaderboards. This should have been a by the end of season 1 thing, and it's not. And I know they track those statistics. Leaderboards, do it. All the leaderboards, just like Town of Salem 1. Do the stuff like Better 2S2 does with the casual chat stuff. Leaderboards. Boom. Events. There should be special events every so often. Like, if I was working on the game, we have a Labor Day event. Don't make it like Labor Day themed. Make it, just casually. I think a Labor Day weekend event. Friday, September 6th through Tuesday, September 10th. Make it, I don't know, jailer. Whoever gets the most jailer win out of, excluding custom games. Leaderboard, whoever has the most jailer wins after it gets some town points, maybe gets some special gear that I would later introduce in the next battle pass. Have make it special. Maybe make it to where it's a ranked one. Make it to where there's a special game mode. I could see a Halloween theme special event that has a special game mode that whoever gets the most wins, or whoever converts the most vampires, or, get fun. And two of the best things that Curtis has done in Better 2S2 been the April special event and the Summer of Salem. Do that for Town of Salem too. It's easy. Make it special. You will have people come out to it. It doesn't need to be every month. I skipped August. I would Labor Day. I would Halloween. I would Thanksgiving. I would Christmas. I would Valentine's Day. I would start of spring, Earth Day, Easter. Got plenty in April. And I would, anniversary of the game. There you go. There's your events. And maybe have some one-day ones too, where this random day, it's Curtis's birthday. This is Curtis themed. Or, the Aurora Borealis is going to be shown throughout North America. Make it Star Spawn. That's a Better 2S2 one. But things like that. I think the events is the next thing. And have people help plan events. There should be, tournament matches that day. There should be content creation stuff that day. There you go. You can have a whole video on event ideas. And I think there should be. Controller support and voice-to-text support. This seems weird for a text-based game, but from my understanding, it helps with accessibility. And I think it would be really cool to click microphone, have voice-to-text support, post. No, you don't have to type. That allows more people to play the game and to be more accessible. Something I did not put in here. Sydney, I need colorblind options. I am colorblind. Give me colorblind options. Thank you. Accessibility is important. Anyway, put some of the Better TOS2 custom modifiers in custom games. Integrate the replay mod in the base game, and then I talked about anything goes. So it's April, but for every other month of the year. Everything's on the table. All modifiers, all roles. The April game mode is by far the most popular thing when it comes to Better 2. And I can say that because Curtis said that on stream this past week. Now, will that slowly die down? Probably. But people like the chaos. Give them a chaos mode. Do it. Just see how it goes. See who enjoys what. It can be a thing. There's one of your events. We get to August. Here's the release of the game. Anything goes. 3 days. Good luck. Share us your funniest moment. We'll post it on social media. Funniest moment gets a cool puppy dog. I don't know. Things to think about. All right. So, Sydney and the people that are looking at the letter get now a roadmap that I would go forward with, starting from this next patch to patches before the off season to the off season and stuff for even further. We don't need to discuss that. However, we do need to discuss some other things. I'm going to post most of these sections in their own kind of like discussions or suggestion and feedback in the Discord. So join that. If you want to talk about those things, you can always talk about it in the comments. And then I need to thank Wildcard for handling some of the rule stuff and kind of like, what are your thoughts too? Because I was unsure. EJF was pretty sure. And I was like, why ask Wildcard, what are your thoughts? Curtis, we're looking over it the first time and kind of giving his thoughts and ideas and seeing what I was thinking. And then, of course, DJF handled so much of ideas. And this is my kind of, all right. I like that. This is my open letter to Sydney and PB team and BMG team. Here you go. Time's on the clock. I have things that's going to be coming up. I will be doing less things. But I want to give my feedback while I still have the time to hopefully bring Town of Salem 2 to a better spot than it. I'm confident every time I talk with Sydney. I feel more confident in what they're doing. I just hope, at least with me recording this video, I don't think they've gotten to show their cards yet. And I'm excited to see when they get to roll things out. I think both will be excited too. That's all for me. Thank you for joining a over 50-minute discussion. My voice hurts. I need water. I also need to sleep. So I, woke up at midnight today. And I will catch you all way later on. I'm probably not going to do another discussion type video until we get up. See you then.